Good morning and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. You might remember the old Gatorade commercials that urged us all to be like Mike, trying to convince us that if we drank Gatorade like Michael Jordan, then we too could do things on the basketball court like he did. Sometimes it's good to admire people and take on certain of their qualities. But that would not be true of our Bible person today. This week we're looking at Bible people you've never heard of. And today we want to focus on Gehazi. I keep pronouncing his name incorrectly. Gehazi was not an admirable character, although you would think someone in his position would be. Gehazi was the servant of Elisha, the prophet of God. There are two Bible stories that feature Gehazi, but neither one shows him in a good light. The first one is in 2 Kings 4, when Elisha has dealings with a woman called the Shunammite woman. She was convinced that Elisha was a holy man of God and convinced her husband to add a room onto their house so Elisha could stay there whenever he was passing their way. Eventually, Elisha asked what he could do for the woman and ended up promising that she would bear a son. A few years later, the child died. The woman went to Elisha and convinced him to come with her. Elisha and Gehazi went ahead. Elijah sent Gehazi ahead with his staff, but when Gehazi got there and laid the staff on the boy, nothing happened. Eventually, Elisha got there and raised the boy to life again. So the story has a happy ending. But Gehazi's failure casts a shadow over what follows. In the next chapter, a Syrian general named Naaman contracts leprosy. Eventually, Naaman hears about Elisha and comes seeking to be healed. Long story short, Naaman is healed, and he returns to Elisha and asks if he can leave a present for Elisha in return for being healed. But Elisha refused the gift. Elisha knew it was God who had done it, and he didn't want to profit off of what God had done. So Naaman left. Meanwhile, Gehazi schemed. Gehazi thought, "My master let that foreigner off too easily." So he ran after Naaman's chariot, and when he caught up, he told a lie. He said, "2 other prophets have just come in from the hill country, and my master sent me to ask for 2 outfits of clothes and a talent of silver for them." Well, Naaman was more than happy to comply and gave Gehazi 2 changes of clothing and 2 talents of silver. Then Naaman went on his way, and so did Gehazi, richer for the experience. But when he got back, well, 2 Kings 5:25 through 27 reads, "He went in and stood before his master, and Elisha said to him, 'Where have you been, Gehazi?' He answered, 'Your servant has not gone anywhere at all.' But he said to him, 'Did I not go with you in spirit when someone left his chariot to meet you? Is this a time to accept money and to accept clothing, olive orchards and vineyards, sheep and oxen, and male and female slaves? Therefore the leprosy of Naaman shall cling to you and your descendants forever.' So he left his presence leprous, as white as snow." You don't want to be like Gehazi. But Gehazi's story tells us something important too. The gift of healing for Naaman was God's free gift to him. And you can't buy God's grace or even earn it. It's a gift to you and to me. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.